Good evening, everybody. My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Today is Friday, the 4th of July, 2025. Welcome back to my Flosstube channel. This is a channel where I talk about my cross stitch, and if there's like dust, I see dust. If that's what you're here for, then welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Thanks so much for watching and following along. I may seem very bright today because I moved my lamp over my regular lamp. I usually just have my ring light behind my camera, but I moved my regular lamp over here. Not sure how long this thing is gonna last because it's like right in my eyes. I keep looking at myself now because when I'm looking at the camera, like when I'm looking at you, it's really in my eyes. But I wanted to see if it would give me a little bit more light when I'm trying to show my projects. So we're gonna try it out. We'll see how it is. I feel like it's gonna turn stuff on the yellower side, so I don't know how this is gonna work. But anyway, first thing I wanna show you is my FFO. So this was an old finish that I had that I had given to my mom, and she finished it. She just framed it with a simple black frame for me. And this is Best Friends Quotes. This was from Stitch Area on Etsy. This pattern is no longer available. But it's just, let me bring it a little bit closer here. I'm not going to go through all of the quotes, but I just did it with the Call for DMC on a 20 count Aida. I would definitely, if you find patterns like this that are similar style, I would definitely recommend taking a look at the pattern and seeing what type of backstitching and stuff there is, because if I had known then what I know now, I would have done this on an even weave, because like some of this back stitches, like the words smelly cat, I had to wing it because the way the back stitches were, I couldn't get it to sit properly. And then same with like these were, I was actually cutting into threads with some of the back stitching on this, because it was like going like, it was like splitting threads trying to get it to fit. So, but overall, I'm happy with it. I like it. I may or may not replace Glory of Autumn for a few weeks because it's been up for a while. Yeah. So anyway, okay, so let me show my board. God, this is really bright. Let me show my board. So I did not get to one of my Monopoly projects. I didn't get to the Christmas reindeer this week, but no worries. I'll just do it next week. It's fine. But I did get to a decent, I got a decent amount of stitching done. I think I didn't stitch on Wednesday. I think that's why I didn't get to Christmas reindeer, because I didn't stitch on Wednesday. I was so tired. I just sat on my couch and played on my phone for a little bit and then went to bed, excited to be at work super early on Thursday. So, and then I was off today. So I got did a little bit more on Honeymoon Sunset, got caught up on my marathon stitching, threw in some extra stitches on my Whip of Shame. So I'm actually a few days ahead on the Whip of Shame, which is great. I got started a few days early. So let's go ahead and get started. Hang on a second. I moved the lamp a little bit. Hopefully it's not too dark now. Okay, so first up, let's go over some of my Monopoly stitching. So first thing up that I'm going to show you is Heaven and Earth Designs. This is the sewing desk, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by Amy Stewart. It's regular size, regular color. It is 525 by 375, and it has 87 colors. And oh, I think I'm starting to hear fireworks. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. So when I did this, I started in the middle and then worked my way up to the top, up there. So I am doing this with a call for DMC, 2 strands half cross on a 25 count easy count Lugana. And for Monopoly, I needed 200 stitches. Oh, and if you are a regular viewer, ask and ye shall receive. Asked my mom for a new board and she made me one. Yay! Thanks, Mom. She actually made me 2, but my other one's sitting over in the corner. Okay. So, let me show you where I worked first. So I needed 200 stitches on this. And I got that done. Here we go. So I started on this diagonal over here, and I think, well, I needed 400 total, so I had started on this diagonal, so I went ahead and continued on this diagonal for the other 200, and this is the top of the ear from the bear. It's a lot of part threads because it's getting into the bear's ear. Up here. So I'm working on this in 2 diagonals. And I'm combining a few different stitching methods. So I'm working on it in the diagonal. I added a second diagonal. I'm kind of combining Stitching Mommy and Yoshi and Ninja Needle, kind of what they do, kind of picking symbols left to right, going back and forth, just back and forth, trying not to do any stitches if there's not a stitch above it. Somebody had asked a question about they couldn't wrap their heads around how I was doing it if it was half cross. It's the exact same thing as if it's full cross. If there's not a stitch above it, then I park the thread. This was already all in. This is everything that I've done. So, I am now sitting at, there we go, 11,095 stitches completed. So I hit the 11,000 stitch mark, so that's exciting. Out of 196,875, and I am at 5.64% complete. So that's cool. Cat time. Gotcha. Say hi, Gracie. Oh, it's Gracie Lou. Hello, baby. Say hi, Gracie. It's Gracie Lou Freebush. Mr. Whiskers is around here somewhere. He hasn't made an appearance in a while. I don't know what his deal is. Maybe he's mad because I'm sitting in his chair. That might be it. She smells like Peyton. Peyton and Lachlan went back to their dad today. And of course, Peyton had to spray himself down with cologne before he left, and then he was holding Gracie, so now Gracie smells like him. Okay. So let me go ahead and put this up. So I got my 200 stitches for Monopoly, so yay. The catching rays stitching, I will show you. I guess I can show you now. I was going to say I'll show you in a little bit, but I'll go ahead and show you now because I'm doing my marathon stitching for Andrew the Runner Stitcher's marathon training. I'm doing that on catching rays as well, but I can go ahead and do those together. Okay, so next project I'm going to show you is Catching Rays. This is charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. This is my biggest whip. It is 1200 by 900 and it has 134 colors, and this is what it's going to look like when it's done. So this is over 1 million stitches. It is my biggest project that I have. I did the math. If I did 500 stitches every day, I could finish it in 5 years. there's no way I'm going to do 500 stitches every day. I would get so sick of this. Oh my God, I would get so sick of this. Okay. So I'm doing it 1/1 full cross on a 32 count easy count Lugana. Working on it on the diagonal. All right, give me 1 second. I think I'm just gonna, I think I have like an overall before picture. Of both, because I'm doing my Monopoly stitching and my marathon stitching. So real quick before I show you, so I needed 200 stitches for Somebody Passed Go, I think it was, in Monopoly. So I needed 200 stitches for that. And, oh my God. Andrew the Runner Stitcher is, I'm going to link his channel down below. He is a fellow Flosstuber, very good friend of mine, and he is training for the Sydney Marathon. I don't know the name of it. The marathon in Sydney in August. He's going to go run in that. So he has this whole spreadsheet set up, and you pick a whip, and for every mile that he runs while he's training, he updates the spreadsheet, and you do 10 stitches on your whip for every mile that he runs. And it's so much fun seeing how much he runs every day. I will only run like that if there's food involved. And not even that far. I will be out of breath so fast. This is going to be the closest I ever get to a marathon, unless I actually show up and cheer somebody on. Okay, so I got 2 areas to show you, but they're kind of in the same area, so it's okay. All right, so here's where I'm at with it. I am working on this in 2 diagonals, but 2 sets of diagonals. So up here is my Monopoly stitching. I needed 200 stitches on it, and that's what I did. And again, working just row by, trying to do it row by row, especially, I kind of started doing it on this piece because I was having a hard time finding the missing stitches because it's a higher count. It's a 32 count. I mean, people do this stuff on 40 count with no magnification. I don't know how they do it, but I was just in the, it was mainly in the lighter colors I was having issues with, like finding the light colors on the white fabric that were missing. And then down here has been my marathon stitching. So this week, so far, I don't have today's stitches in, Fridays, but I've done 246 stitches this week so far. So I now have, I was originally doing this page by page, as you can see. As much as I hate palm trees, look how good that thing looks. God, it's gonna look so good once I actually start getting down into the tree. Even though I hate palm trees. So far, I hit a milestone with this one too, 31,000. So I hit the 31,000 mark. Yay. So now I have 31,012 stitches completed out of 1,080,000, and I am at 2.87%. I feel like maybe if I hit 30, I think it's 32,600 stitches, maybe will be 3%, I think. Trying to do quick math in my head. 1% is 10,800, so times 2. Times 3. Sorry. 32,400. I'm not even sure if I mapped that correctly. I think it's 32,400 will be 3%. So, yeah. This page isn't quite done. I was working on this page and then I decided to start doing diagonals, so that's what I've been doing. And then, so I decided to have this diagonal for Monopoly, and I'm just gonna keep this area, because I had done this whole, started up here with the marathon training. I've done all this, except for where the pages, all this, and then started this. So I'm gonna keep this for the marathon training. And if I happen to end up completing this little blocked out page right here with the marathon training, I still need to go, I'll just continue down into this one. And I'll just go like this for Monopoly until the marathon training is over. And then I'll end up converting it just into where I have like one diagonal, one working diagonal anyway. So this is gonna stay out. I think today I'm supposed to do like 80 stitches on it for the marathon training, I think. Okay, next up is going to be my whip of shame for the month of July. So if you are new, my whip of shame is a whip that I have you guys vote every month what's going to be the whip of shame for the following month, and have you vote between two. My whips of shame are all of my whips that are usually about 10 years old or older. I have like maybe one or two that are not quite 10 years old, but they're so old in my mind that they belong there. So I pick two off of a wheel. I have you guys vote between the two of them, and then I work on that whip every day for the following month, about 100 stitches a day, with a goal of however many days there are times 100. So for July, this project will need 3,100 stitches. And this one is Riding the Wave by Creative Accents. Artwork is by Jim Warren. I was noticing today that I think this whip is going to look like absolutely nothing until it doesn't look like that anymore. Like, which is weird to say, but it's like, it's hard to see what it is. I mean, if you look at it, it's a lot of water, and the horse blends in with the water. So it's gonna be something where it's like, it's hard to see what it is until all of a sudden you can see it. I'm using everything that came in the kit. So this is a 16 count Dove Gray Ada. And so far this month, oh, and my half crosses are 2 for 1. So it's 2 half crosses for 1 full cross. So far this week, I put in 718 stitches. I did some up in the sky, and then I decided to come down and get working on the water part. I feel like this is like all background all the time. There's not that, like, there's really only one like truly like defined element in my opinion on this, and that would be this one horse right here. Everything else is kind of like the shadow of the horse coming out, you know? It's like all background. This is even a background horse, really. And then this is a wave, and I think this is supposed to come up and be like the initial background horse. But this is the one that you can see right now, right there. Okay, ready? See it? Right there. And then this over here, I think I just need to get some back stitching in so you can see what the hell I'm talking about. But yeah, so I got 718 stitches in it so far. I mean, I'm not hating it, definitely not hating it, but yeah, I was just like working on it. I'm like, God, so much blue. It's just so much blue. I think that's what it is. It's a lot of blue. And it says Dove Gray Ada, but in my mind, it's blue. Blue floss on a blue fabric with a blue horse. Blue da ba dee ba. Okay, Next up, let's do my wheel spins. I'll show Honeymoon Sunset last, as usual, per the norm. Okay, so first spin I did was seasonal. I was trying to think of what category this was in. So if you are new, I have all of my whips divided up into categories. I have 221 whips right now. So to try to be able to get some, I was doing it where I was like, oh, I just want to get progress on all of them. I want to touch all of them. Well, Jen, let's be real, okay? If you want to work on something once a year, then yes, you can touch all of your whips in a year. Absolutely. But if you want to actually see some progress, you're going to have to let some set aside, go into the closet of despair back here, and just sit and be lonely, so that you can just, work on other stuff. So I have all my whips, I have all the whips divided into the categories. And so when I start a new project, once I start it, I will decide at that point which category it will go into. So I have small full coverage, anything under 250,000 stitches. Large full coverage, anything over 250,000 stitches. I have small medium kits. These are small and medium kits. So medium kits, large kits. Finish the shit. That's any project that I feel like might be getting close to a finish. I'm gonna throw it in the finish the shit pile. I still have not gotten to work on any of that yet, doing my wheel spins. Go figure. Seasonal is spring, summer, autumn, winter specific pieces, not necessarily holiday pieces. I have a separate category for holiday. Then I have a category for fancy stuff / Sal. So all of my stitch alongs and fancy ladies and stuff are together in one category. And then I have, I thought I had more. Oh, I have a whip of shame category, but I don't really pick that to stitch on. Regular non-full coverage, like anything that doesn't fit into one of my categories. I feel like I have, that's 9. Plus whip of shame. I feel like there's one more that I'm missing. Anyway. Okay, so what I'm doing is I picked, so I have them all in the categories, right? This is really bugging me now. Hang on a second. Oh no, that is right, because I have 18 and there's 2 from each. Okay, yeah. Fancy lady / Sal, seasonal, finish the shit, non-full coverage, holiday, small full coverage, big full coverage, medium kits, and large kits. Yeah, so that's 9. All right, so I did say them all. So anyway, I have them all divided into the things, right? And then I picked 2 whips from each category to be like my focus whips. And what I'm doing right now is I had a crap ton of, I had big plans at the beginning of the year. I do this every year too. I had big plans at the beginning of the year. So I'm trying to pull from the current active whips from when I had all my big plans. I'm trying to pull from those first so that I don't have to sit there and like fuck around with a bunch of boards, like changing stuff around and then having like partial goals done and all that. So these projects will get worked on until their original goal is met, and then I'll pick another one from my active. Once I exhausted those, then I will pull from my closet of despair and pull one of those out. Because like once I finish one of my large kits, either Ocean's ABC or Christmas ABC, once I finish the goal for one of those, then I'll have to pull from the closet of despair, because those 2 large kits are the only large kits I have throughout my entire 4-board plan. So anyway, that was a lot of explaining. Sorry. Okay, so I spin my wheel, it picks a category, and then I pick one of those 2 projects to work on. And so I could spin and it could land on that category 2 times. And so I try to be mindful and look at 2 things. One, which one of them did I work on the last time that category was called? I don't keep track of it anywhere. I just kind of know, oh, I didn't work on this one last time. Or I look and see which one is closer to getting their goal finished. And I'll pull that one out to get that goal worked down closer. So first one that I spun was seasonal. First one I spun was seasonal. And this goal was closer, so I picked it. This is Winter in the Village by Stony Creek Collection. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm using the called for threads, and I'm stitching it 2/2 full cross on a 28 count even weave in the color Summer Sky. And this is where I got to with it. I did 550 stitches, and I don't really need to show you that part because that's like, I haven't worked on that. So I think this was done. I think I've worked on this like 2 weeks in a row because I was trying to get the goal done. But I got the snowman back stitched. The lighting looks weird on my end, so I'm really hoping that you can see it good. But I got the snowman back stitched. I got the trees like stitched all around him and everything. I got the lamppost done and back stitched. And then the tree up here, I got the cross stitching done. And I'm trying to think, did I get all those branches back stitched? I think I did. Hang on. I did. So that's completely done. Completely done. So that's right. And I was like, so it was a couple things. It was like a nice, good, like, I usually like trying to do 100, like even numbers, like with my finishing, usually stopping on the hundreds if I can help it. But sometimes I'll just stop whenever. But I figured once I got this completely, this was the last little bit I did, and I was like, this is a good stopping point for me. So the next time this comes out, I can move over to this building and work on getting it done. This building right here, work on getting that one. Because my plan for these projects is to kind of work to an end and then just start from the end and just work solidly getting all the back stitching and everything completed. So kind of work this border over and start working this over. But I don't know how much more, I mean, I know how much more it's going to get done. I don't know how far it's going to go. So I'm probably, when this comes out, I'll probably work on that building because it's getting close to having its goal completed. So it's going to be switched out in the near future. I don't know when in the near future, but it's basically got one stitching session left. Did I say I did 550 stitches? Yeah. And it's on paper, so I have no idea what my percentage is completed. But yeah, it's essentially got one stitching session left, and it'll be done. Okay, so then the next spin I did, let me see, I did Riding the Wave. Next spin I did was Holiday. And so the one I decided to work on was Christmas Cupcake. This is by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by, is it Anders Eisman? We'll find out in a minute. Oops. Yes, Anders Eisman. It is not a full coverage. It is 300 by 315. It has 91 colors, and this is what it's going to look like when it's done. I love this piece. Absolutely love it. I have another cupcake. There's a few cupcakes out there, FYI, that Betsy has done with the Cross Stitch Studio. I have a chocolate cupcake that I know of that I have patterns that I've never shown you guys. But I have a chocolate cupcake that's similar to this. And then she put out another Christmas themed cupcake that has a Santa hat. And it's so cute. So cute. Okay. So I am doing this with a Call for DMC 2 strands full cross on a 20 count Ada in the color Palomino. This was a fabric of the month from Mystic Fabrics, December 2023. It's a really, really pretty color. I love it. And I don't need this entire thing because I got a fat half. I don't need this entire fabric, so it makes me super happy. Once I'm done with this cupcake, I'm going to cut a portion. I'm going to cut the fabric down so I can use the rest of it for something else. Okay, so I am, as you can see from the before photo, I am stitching this a little weird. I am stitching in a spiral, I guess you could say. So this is where I got to with it. I did 540 stitches on it because I decided to do an odd number of stitches because I wanted to, this block here was partially done. And so I was like, well, let me just do an odd number so that I can fill that block in. And then this way, next time, I'll just kind of try to make it more even hundreds. I did 540 stitches. So I was worried about when I started getting up here, when I was just stitching regular, I was worried about messing this up with the colors. So I decided to go back to the middle and I filled the block in, and I was just parking the threads wherever I needed to. This one, it looks like he's looking at me. Like there's the eyes and the nose and the little smile. And then I went up to the block up and stitched it and then went over and down and around. And I don't remember exactly where the center block is. It's like maybe right here. But anyway, maybe I went down, over, up, around, down. I don't remember what I did. That's what I did. Started in the middle. I went over, down, over, up, over, down, 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 down. Now I'm working over. And then when I get here, I'll go up, and I'll just keep doing that. So I am now sitting at, and I showed this to Peyton, and I said, what is it? And I said, look at my thing. And he was like, it looks like is that a cupcake? And I said, yes, it is. I said, what's the theme of the cupcake? And he's like, Christmas? I was like, yes, it's Christmas cupcake. So I was happy about that. I now have 2,328 stitches completed out of 67,748. I am at 3.44%. I still got a ways to go for this goal because my goal for my non-full coverages, my original non-full coverage goal was 4,000 stitches. So I still got a ways to go on this. I'll probably be able to get this up to like maybe 6%, I think, before the goal's done. So that'd be nice. Because I think I have like I have 2,300 stitches on it right now, and I think I need about another 2,300 when I was doing the math to finish the goal. So close to 7%, I think it'll be when the goal's done. And then the next wheel spin I did was big full coverage. So this is my full coverages that are greater than 250,000 stitches. Honeymoon Sunset and Catching Rays are not on that list because they're kind of like focus pieces. So the one that I worked on was Hiding Place. Excuse me. Hiding Place. This is charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. It is 869 by 583 and it has 134 colors. And this is what it's going to look like when it is done. I have 2 corner starts right now. I started in the upper left-hand corner, but I'm working on this in like a intense stitch. And I prefer, when I'm working intense stitch, I prefer to work right to left from the top. Like I like working top right to bottom left. So I very carefully, oh so carefully, counted over and moved over to the upper right hand corner, because I was in the upper left hand corner, which is where I normally start, and then I'll work upper left and kind of like spread out that way. So I counted over to do an upper right hand corner start. So I'm going to show you where I'm working at. I just showed the other side in the whip parade. If you want to see it, you can go check that out. But yeah, so here's where I got to with it. I'm just going to hold it up without the board because my fabric is all folded up. I ended up doing 400 stitches on this. I was going to do more, but I think the night I was working on it, I was really tired. But I now have a total of 12,685 stitches completed out of 506,627. I am at 2.50%. I have more stitches on the other corner. I just don't feel like unfolding it all. Working on this in 2 diagonals. I don't think it, did I say I'm doing it 2 over 1 tenth stitch on a 25 count easy count Lugana? No, 28 count easy count Lugana. So still boring tree, but we are getting a little bit more sky starting to peep through here, but now I'm getting back into the boring tree. It's okay though. It's going to look really good when it's done. You got to deal with the boring to get the pretty, right? Okay, then the last wheel spin that I did was small kits. And this was actually one of my new starts earlier this year. This is a Leisure Arts kit and it's called Spicy Disaster. It says, I'm not a hot mess, I'm a spicy disaster. Look at that little kitty, it's so stinking cute. And I'm using everything that came in the kit, so it's a 14 count white Aida. You know, my mom made me 2 different size boards. This one I have here, and then a smaller one. And at first I was thinking, what would I need a smaller board for? It would be perfect for small projects like this. But I don't feel like getting up again. So we'll just deal. Actually, the fabric will fit on this big one, but yeah, that's all right. Okay. So I did 400, I thought I did more than that. I guess not. I did 400 stitches on this. And this is where I got to with it. So I got the little border stitched up to here. And I got it back stitched up to there. And I did all of the little flowers and the peppers and everything up through here. And then this will start another little sunflower deal. And I finished back stitching the tail of the cat. That wasn't back stitched before because I had these flowers to stitch in. And I got the shovel stitched and then did the little bit of back stitching for that. So yeah. We're getting there. I'd say I'm, what, halfway done maybe? I think. I don't know. I can't. You guys know I'm terrible at gauging how much stitching is left on something. I'm like, oh, this is close to a finish. 5,000 stitches later. That's not close. Okay. So, yeah, I got 400 stitches on that. So, there's that one. I still feel like that could potentially be a finish before the goal is met. If it's not, we'll see how close it is to being done, and maybe I'll just keep working on it. Well, I guess I'll kind of gauge that when I'm working on it. When I'm working on it, if I get to the goal and it's like right there, I'm just going to go over the goal and finish it. But if there's still like a section to do, then I'll put it into the finish the shit category. Okay, I got one project left to show, and this is my focus piece for the year. This is Honeymoon Sunset. It is charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. It is 869 by 649. It has 133 colors, and this is what it's going to look like when it's done. My goal is to get it to 50% by the end of the year, which I think I can. Okay. I'm doing it 2/1 tent stitch on a 25 count easy count Lugana. Did I say I was going to do the beginning of the month? Poop. I think I did. I don't know. I keep giving reasons why I can or can't show the whole thing because it's a pain in the ass, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'll go ahead and do it. I probably should do an end of the month photo. I don't know. Because I work on it every week, you know? So anyway, let me just show you where it worked first. So I'm doing it 2/1 tent stitch on a 25 count easy count Lugana. And this is where I've gotten to with it so far. I'm working on this in 2 diagonals, and I've gotten 1,400 stitches this week. So I didn't quite get to the house like I was hoping I would. That's okay. But where is it? There's some gray coming in right here that you'll see it more once this is stitched in, but the gray stitching right here is a bird bath. So, and then I think I pointed out last time, because it's way down here, that this is the ocean water, like the waves coming up onto shore. That's the very edge of that. So we're really getting into like some good bits. I mean, this is good bits too, this right here. Don't get me wrong, those are good bits too. Let me just hold this up for right now, and then I'm gonna give you my numbers, and then I'll just open up the whole thing and show you. I am now sitting at 249,571 stitches completed out of 563,981. I am at 44.25% complete. So my goal for June is to get it to 45%. So what I'm going to try to do is, because I was doing like a few thousand stitches every week, and then I kind of like slowed down because of life or whatever, which was fine because I was actually ahead. But now, like this past month, or for June, I like broke even. Like my last Flosstube of June was when I finally hit 44%, which was my goal for June. And the previous months, I had been hitting that month's goal by like the second Flosstube of that month. So I need to ramp up my stitching on this. So I'm gonna probably have to work on this. If I can't get, because I do it in tent stitch, so I basically can get twice as many stitches done in a time frame. Like what it would take for me to do 500 stitches, I can do 1,000 stitches on it. So that's why sometimes I'm like, oh, I did 2,000 stitches in one day. Well, if I have a really good stitching day, then it's the equivalent of doing 1,000 stitches of full crosses because I'm doing it in 10 stitch. But if I can't get like maybe, I want to try to shoot. I did 1,400 this week, which is a good amount. And some of it was actually in the month of June. But I want to try to maybe see if I can get 1,500 stitches. Well, I'll say at least 1,400 a week on it, just to kind of like get up there with my goal, and then also kind of get back ahead again. So here's the whole thing. That looks so good. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Man, that looks really good. It's like, I look at it like every week. But looking at it like this in the camera, I'm like, shit, that looks good. Yeah, loving that part right there. And hang on a second. Let me zoom out here. There it is in gray, the whole thing, right? I thought that was a missing stitch on there. That was a piece of dust. But there's it all grayed out. I have it in gray because when I try to, I have use a flat color for the finish, because if I don't, it like throws me off when I'm trying to find the colors. There it is in color, what I've done so far. So like I said, I want to get to 50% by the end of the year. I now have, my highest color for this has been 37.79. It's always been 37.79. I am finally under 25,000 stitches. I want to say I had a lot more than that, because maybe not a lot more. It might have been like maybe 29,000 or something. I know it was over 25,000 because last year I did a challenge with Alara, and it was like a 25K in 25 weeks challenge where we did 1,000 stitches a week, right? And I had picked this project, and I was like, wow, even if I did all 25,000 stitches in 37.79, I still would not complete that color by the end of the challenge. But I'm finally below that, so if we did that challenge again, I could technically color complete 37.79 and be done with it. But so 24,877 stitches left of 37.79, and then it jumps down to like 18,000, 16,000. So I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if you count the highest color, 5 colors over 10,000 stitches left. Everything else is below 10,000. I'm not going through everything. I'm just like telling you a few different things. I now have 3 colors that are under 100 stitches remaining. My lowest one is 73 colors, or 73 stitches left. And of course, it's like, it's gonna be all 3 colors that have less than 100. They're like all in like the flowers, so it's gonna be like all over here before those 3 get done. And then I have 3 more that could potentially drop below 100 while I'm working on this diagonal, because I think they might be in I think they might be in that diagonal, and they're like 100, 105, and 109 remaining. So that is awesome. We're getting there. We're getting there. So I will keep plugging away at this. Okay, let's go ahead and get my boards updated. We'll do, hang on. Needed my marker. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this board first, my little board. And I've got two things to update. I did go ahead and put Riding the Wave on here, right here for number 6. So I've done 718 stitches so far this month. I have a goal of 3,100 stitches, not 31,000. And so it was 3,100 minus the 718. We are now at 2,382 stitches remaining on that goal. Catching Ray's marathon stitching, I had 2,296. I am adding another 246, so we are up to 2,542. And then I think I need to add stitches for today. Yeah. So there's that board. And then this board, we are going to be, this is the second Monopoly board. We're going to be updating my Go Catching Rays. I had 2,800 stitches. My goal for all of my Monopoly pieces was 4,000 stitches. I had 2,800. I did another 200, so this is going up to 3,000. And my goal is dropping from 1,200 down to 1,000. So once this goal is met, then I'm going to take this off of the board and replace, I revamped my Monopoly stitching and kind of combined colors and utilities and all that jazz. So Catching Rays is for free parking and just visiting, jail, and go. Like just visiting, not when you're in jail. And so once that goal is done, I'm going to take the one that was next on that little list that's closest to a goal, and we'll continue that one, which was Dreaming of Autumn Leaves. I'm doing that with all of them to try to maybe have a little bit more focus on stuff. Okay, so that was that one. And then for the Monopoly part, the properties. So I'm leaving all these on here so that I know where they are with their goals until I need to start erasing them. Sewing desk, here it is. I had 1,200, so this is my piece for the purple, St. Charles States in Virginia. So the sewing desk, I had 1,200, I did another 200, so this is going up to 1,400. And my goal is dropping from 2,800 down to 2,600. So as my wheel spin categories I was telling you about, as those pieces need to be replaced, I'm going to be pulling off of these other boards that you'll see in a minute, pulling from those first. If I don't have a whip from those to replace it, then I'm going to move over to my kind of like what I've moved into inactive whips for Monopoly and see if I can pull one of those. And that's where Christmas ABC came from. So when I work on Christmas ABC, we'll be pulling a Monopoly board to update that goal. And then once all of the boards have been depleted of those category whips, then I'll go into my inactive bin, my closet of despair, if you will. On this board here, these are my old temperature whips from when I was doing temperature stitching. And the one, I need to update Winter in the Village on here. I had 900, I did another 550. So this is going up to 1,450. My temperature goals were all 2,000 stitches. My goal is dropping from 1100 down to 550. So like, see what I mean? One more stitching session and that goal is going to be done. I may even just go ahead and do that goal. Maybe, we'll see. And then the next one is Hiding Place, which was another temperature piece, but it's for my big full coverage, and it was 900. I did another 400. So we are now at 1300, and my goal is dropping from 1100 down to 700. This is another potential goal finish. So I have 3 pieces right now in a Sugar Cookie House. Is it one of my things though? It's not. That's why I'm like, I could finish Sugar Cookie House, but it's not in my real spin list. But I could finish Winter in the Village, and I could finish Hiding Place, get those goals done, and they will come off of the board and they will get replaced with something else. I have all of them. I painstakingly hand wrote them all out into their different categories. So I just have to look at my category list and pick one that matches up with what I have listed on here. Okay, and then this board here is my previous focus pieces. Christmas Cupcake. I had 1,162 stitches done. I should have moved closer. Oh well. I did another 540, which brings me up to 1,702. And my goal is dropping from 2,838 down to 2,298. I say so many numbers that when I start, I do the math ahead of time. Like with a calculator, I'm not trying to math it in my head. And when I'm doing the math, or when I'm writing the numbers, I'm like, I second guess my calculator. I'm like, is that right? Are you sure? And then I need to update. Let me see, where is it? Spicy Disaster, which is down here. Number 5. I had 705 stitches. I did another 400. So that brings this up to 1,105. And my goal is dropping from 2,295 down to 1,895. And then, is that all of them except for Honeymoon Sunset? Got it, got it. Got it, yeah. Got it, need it. Got it. Okay, yeah. All right. Honeymoon Sunset. So my goal is to get it to 50% by the end of the year. These numbers are based off of my WIP parade from December. So I had 36,260 stitches. I did another 1,400 stitches. So that brings this up to 37,660. And my stitch goal is dropping from 33,820 down to 32,420, which that's exciting because that means that my stitch goal, if I keep on the path that I would like to keep going on, will drop under 30,000 stitches by the end of the month. So that's exciting. My percent complete is increasing from 44.00% to 44.25%. So that's exciting. All right. So that's my boards. So I don't really, it's hard to discuss plans because because of the wheel spin thing. I forgot to grab Christmas reindeer to show you what that's going to look like, but I got to do Christmas reindeer for Monopoly, and then my Monopoly stitching will be done. And then we can do a new Monopoly round next week. I'll keep working on Honeymoon Sunset and then catching rays for the marathon stitching. And I'll continue doing the wheel spins. I may or may not veer off of the wheel spin for specific reasons. If I feel up to it, I may try to go ahead and get those goals completed for Winter in the Village and Hiding Place. I might try to go ahead and get those goals done so we can get the Blue's Clues marker and mark the goal off as being completed, and we'll replace those with something else. So I might go ahead and do those just to get those goals done. I may do wheel spin because I keep ending up, my wheel keeps wanting to land on the Fancy Ladies / Sal category, or Fancy Stuff / Sal. And currently my projects for that category have been Mermaids of the Season and my chatelaine. And I haven't been working on my chatelaine because I use the PDF on my computer. And every time I spin that category, my son has the computer. And I'm not going to be like, oh, give me the computer. Like, I mean, I can. He doesn't need to be on it all night. But he like hangs out with his friends and stuff like that. Because we don't have people around here that they can hang out with. So the boys like call their friends on the phone. And then that's how they spend time with each other, is play video games. Which I don't care. He plays Roblox. He builds stuff. I mean, you should hear these kids. They're like talking at like, when they're playing games like that, he's like, he's like, they're making like pizzas. And I don't know. It's some kind of like add-on, like new thing in Roblox. And they're like planting vegetables. He's like, come look at my vegetable garden I did. I'm like, what in the world? But, so anyway, my computer basically, unless I want to be like an asshole, my computer's kind of like, not super accessible unless, anyway, I'd like to work on my chatelaine, so I might go ahead and do that too. And yeah, but I would like to be able to replace a couple things on here. I've gotten to replace one thing, one of my finishes. I got to replace that, so that was cool. But I want to be able to replace start getting some of these goals knocked out and getting those things replaced. Oh, and so what I'm going to do is, as these goals get worked on and I start replacing stuff out of my closet of despair, I'm going to have like maybe I don't know if I'm going to do, I might do like maybe a 2,000 stitch goal for them instead of like a 3,000 or 4,000, because I feel like sometimes that can take forever. I've had some thoughts rummaging through my head, like maybe do 2,000 stitches or 1,000. I was thinking about a few things. We're gonna sit here and talk. If you're not, I don't know if you figured this out yet, but if you're not into all the stuff, the talking, you can go. I'll see you next week. But I'm just gonna kind of peruse some plan ideas for a second. But I was thinking about either doing 2,000 stitches on all of the whips and just rotate through them till I get the 2,000 stitches. I wanted to do 1,000 stitches, but I don't know, maybe 1,000 would be good. And just keep doing 1,000 stitches and just rotate through them. And there's a chance that I could potentially work on one project multiple times throughout the year to get 1,000 stitches each time. I could do that. I was also thinking maybe picking my favorite one and doing a higher stitch goal And then the other, because I have 2 for each category, so maybe like pick one and have a higher stitch goal for that one. And then the other one for that category, I just keep doing 1,000 stitches on them. And if I find one that I'm like, oh, I want that one to be the next high goal one, then I'll just kind of set it aside after I get my 1,000 stitches and just keep rotating through the other ones 1,000 stitches until, you know what I mean? So I could do that. And then the other thing is the temperature stitching. So I was mentioning last week about how I wanted to get back to temperature stitching, but I wanted to do something a little bit different because I also have whips of shame that have not been worked on since I started doing the whip of shame last year. And there's some that have been worked on multiple times. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe next weekend, maybe next weekend, I will film a help me choose video. There's a couple, like there's 1 or 2 that I definitely want to have in the temperature list first, because one of them I feel would get it a lot closer to actually getting finished. Maybe just one. I don't know. I haven't quite figured it out yet, because I'm going to have 5 whips and they're going to be assigned to 2 temperatures each, like 2 temperature numbers each. And then whatever I'm thinking, I'll either do, I don't know if I'm gonna do projected temperature or if I'm just gonna see whatever temperature is that day. And that's going to be replacing what I currently have for Whip of Shame. So I'm still doing it, like you guys are still gonna be voting for the replacements and stuff. But I'm just changing it up a little bit to try to see if I can get work on some of these other Whips of Shame that have not seen the light of day in years. So I'll be doing that video so that you can vote. And that goal will be probably 2,000 stitches. I think 1,000 would be a little bit too quick because it's going to be assigned, they're going to be assigned to 2 numbers. So I think that 1,000 will be a little bit too quick. 3,000 is going to be too much. Every month when I get that final week where I'm like the last like 1,000 stitches or so, I'm ready to throw this thing and throw the whip in the trash can. I'm like so over it. I'm ready to move on. So I think 2,000 would be a good stopping point. It'll get a good amount of progress, but it will also not be too much where I'm sick of the project. And then I'll have you guys vote on the replacement. So 5 whips. I know of one that I definitely want to have on the list. And then I think I may have you guys vote for the other 4. What's 4 times 2? 8. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, anyway, I think that's all I have to say. I feel like I was very long-winded today. I think you can hear the fireworks starting to go off outside. So once again, please stay safe tonight. And if you are celebrating Independence Day, and don't drink and drive, don't drink and set off fireworks. Yeah. Don't drink and grill. Yeah. Anyway, was there anything else I had to say? I don't think so. I think that's it. So take care. Happy stitching. Get a lot of stitches in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.